Hi, folks. I'm Maud Mosley. My pronouns are they, them, and welcome back to Tunes Tuesday, a weekly series where I sit down with queer, 2S LGBTQ plus musicians and bands to talk to them about their music, their experiences, and so much more. Today, I am joined by Florida-based band, post-hardcore band GILT. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm Ash. My pronouns are they, she, he. I am the front person in GILT at the moment. I used to be the drummer, and yeah.
Amazing. I love that you've had different roles in the band. That is very cool. And you don't get to see that very often. Now, I want to go into a little bit of your band history, I guess near history. But
Mhm.
ever since 2018, you've been running Snipfess, which is actually an event that came up on a previous Tunes Tuesday episode with Mint Green. And it has been used to raise money for, trans affirming processes like top surgery and name changes. What inspired you to start this event? How has the reception been? And do you look forward to continuing it in the future?
Yes. So actually, I was listening to that interview with Mint Green, and I loved it so much. And basically, Snipfest started in 2018. I wasn't in the band when they first started talking about doing Snipfest, but from what I gathered from that conversations that they used to have is that Snipfest was originally like supposed to just help one of their friends to get top surgery, and it was, I think, supposed to be a benefit show. But then it kind of, as their conversations evolved, it turned more and more into like, what if we did like more shows to get like, a bit more donations. But I think the first Snipfest was also my third or fourth time playing with GILTs. And it was definitely one of the coolest things I think I've ever been introduced to. The fact that they put all that together themselves, like I got to just be there to play and experience this very like good energy that everyone had. It's just amazing. So it originally started as like raising money for top surgery. And the next year was also the same thing. And it got bigger because there was, instead of just 3 shows, it was 6 shows, but there was like 2 shows each day in like 2 different parts of Florida. It was, I hope I explained that correctly. It's supposed to be like gay Warp Tour, basically. Like it was honestly really cool being a part of like more of the behind the scenes the next year, getting to see how what went into booking the shows and getting vendors and supporters and organizers for each event. It was just awesome to see all that come to fruition. And then, there was COVID last year, so we were kind of more so thinking about it ourselves, like what do we do and how do we manage this during COVID, because we still want to be able to have this fundraiser, and ended up doing it online through a live stream. And since like surgeries right now are were like at the time a bit harder to get a hold of, we were like, oh, let's do name changes. And like we were able to help so many people as well with that. It was absolutely, like, we had originally picked around 6 or 7 recipients, I believe, and we were able to help 13. It was just mind-boggling. Snipfest is one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen happen organically.
Yeah, that is incredible to hear. And I actually had the privilege of, attending the virtual one this year. And it was just so great to have that sense of community still online that I feel like you're describing when it came to doing the events in real life. So that's amazing. And I just wanted to ask, I know you kind of joined a little bit later, but do you know where the name Snipfest comes from? I'm just curious.
That's actually really interesting because I think it just like came from like, I think it like came from just like snipping like for like top surgery. Like that's just what it is, like just snip fest. I think that's where it came from. I'm pretty sure they've told me, and my memory is a bit like a teensy fly. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah.
I love that. That was my idea, but I was just like, oh, that's so cool. I want to double check if I'm right about that.
But yeah, totally.
And then I want to dive a bit more into your music. But before we get to that, I want to talk about your band's like incredible aesthetic that's kind of run through your social media as well as your merch. And something consistent there is this mix of hardcore with, so-called nerd culture, like from anime to Dungeons and Dragons and gaming. You find ways to intertwine these two subcultures. And I was wondering, how do you think that kind of representation serves others?
So that's really like, it's really interesting because our friend Crimebird made this post where it was like GILT TikTok and then GILT songs, and like GILT TikTok is like this frilly pink house, and then GILT songs are like this brooding dark black house. And it's like that mix that we have there is really cool because like everyone in the band has different interests, and I just like I dabble in almost everything, like in nerd culture, and also love hardcore music and just music in general. And I think it serves others in a way of like, hey, you can be into so many different things. You don't have to put yourself in a box of like, I gotta like, because for a time we're like, we can only be dark and brooding, but like we were like, no, we can like have fun with it and express like what we like. And it reaches also a whole bunch of groups of people and kind of brings everyone together over a similar like community of just like, we all kind of just like having fun and just like having a great time. We did the D&D podcast last year, which was a lot of fun, and it really gives also people like, it's okay to cry to our music, but also if you don't feel like crying to our music all the time, we can like laugh a little bit. So I think it just, it gives everyone room to be flexible, to just kind of be into whatever, but also still want to interact with us as people.
Absolutely. And you actually have like a whole Discord channel where you're able to actually have that direct interaction. How's that going?
It's going really well. It's really fun because like for a while I was like, oh, I can really talk about anything here. Like, so when WandaVision was happening, I started discourse in the Discord about people's attractiveness, I guess, if that's the word, to vision. And it was very funny because everyone's got like different opinions on everything, and it's really cool to just like start discourse out of nowhere. But also we have like some like, we'll play games sometimes as well, like we'll play a Jackbox, and like that's like just, it's such a weird thing, Discord, because it's just like a group chat, but it's also like I've never met most of these people in real life, but I have like this like real comfort with like being able to just like chat and just hang out with them. So it's gone like super well. And there's like, we have a music channel, a channel where everyone shows off their pets, which is my favorite. I just love seeing everyone's like just furry friends and all that stuff. It's great.
I love that. And I love that sense of like community you're building, like through your music and through your interests. And like, as you said before, really finding that balance and saying like, you can listen to this music and still have a lot of fun outside of that. I love to see that. And now talking a bit more about, this dark and brooding music that you keep mentioning a little bit.
Yeah.
Your first LP was released and it's called Ignore What's Missing. And it was released in 2020. It explores themes of self-destruction, but also healing and systemic oppression. And you're now working on your second LP. You can say when that's coming out if you'd like, or if you know yet. I know this can kind of be a pretty hard time to be recording, but will you be continuing to explore those same themes?
Yes, so we've been very like knee deep in the process of writing LP2. We are currently, so basically Tyler has brought a lot of the skeletons of these songs to Tilly and I, and we're basically now just all collaborating on them. It'll be like at the beginning of our practices, Tilly and Tyler will be doing the guitars and everything, and then we'll work on vocals and all that stuff. And some of the songs don't have lyrics yet, but there are others that have full lyrics that are like set in stone, like that's what it's going to be. And so already a lot of these songs will be kind of it's like the LP2 will be a collection of stories almost this time around that will still be dealing with a lot of themes of like, you know, just self-exploration, I believe, and like self-experience with other things in the world. And I think that's a lot of where we're going for with this. We do have something I think we're planning on in the meantime before the LP2. But yeah, so that's we've been kind of still working in the ballpark of like trying to nail vocals and a lot of guitar parts down first. But it's very exciting to see where some of the songs that don't have lyrics go, where they're going to go thematically. There's a lot of ideas that we have to pull from, especially from LP1, you know, touching on a lot of like loss and, you know, recovering from said loss and everything like that. So we're definitely, it's like Play-Doh at the moment. We kind of got like a little thing formed, but we're still like trying to mold it. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's really exciting to hear. And if you want to stay up to date on that LP, on any of their other releases, make sure to check out those links below. You can also look at them to hopefully get involved in the Discord channel if that's something that interested you. I know it sounds super cool. I don't know who wouldn't love that. So make sure to check out those links below. Make sure to listen to their music. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and stay tuned for next week. GILT will be playing us out.
You can't respect the man who did this to you.